Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the show, Fernando.
Welcome to the show, guys.
Today we have what I know you guys love this. It's an unboxing, an amp dyno, a full package. Meaning we're gonna undress this thing and show you the guts and do the whole 9 yards. So I can't wait. It's an altitude amplifier from AudioControl. Let's get this party started. Always when we do one of these, we want to take a look at the box, and in this one in particular, I find, well, it's actually really cool. If you'll notice, the camera is right. This is my right, this is my left. Everything is doing what it's supposed to, but these are all backwards. And you say, well, why would they do that? This will all make more sense if you turn the box over. If you've ever owned an AudioControl product before, they do have a little bit of tongue-in-cheek where they like to, you know, have some fun and remember that this is car audio. This is even the bottom of the amplifier. Like, how cool is that? It's pretty neat. If we look at the side of the box, they even show you the side of the amplifier. But let's flip it all the way around. This is the A800 Altitude Series amplifier from AudioControl. This is a monoblock amplifier, one channel, 1x800 at 1.3 ohms, 1x600 at 2 ohms, and 1x400 at 4 ohm. The reason why they do this is for spike mode, or as we like to just refer to it as running 3 subwoofers. This is something that they're really excited about and leaning into, and this amplifier is designed to do that. Now, if we take a look at the side here, just a pretty blue sky. But if we flip it around and come over to this side, this talks a little bit more about power output, gives us those numbers again, spike mode. Then we have total harmonic distortion, signal to noise ratio, speaker level input 20 volts max, line level input 6 volts max. This is high level, this is low level. This amplifier has high level capabilities and low-level capabilities built into it. It also has an adjustable 12 dB per octave Link-Wix-Riley crossover. Now, just looking at the box, one of the things that is nice is you see like this amplifier just pops off of it. The box is a flat, this is a high gloss. It almost feels like that sticker, but we know it's not. So I really appreciate the detail that went into this box. This is a step up from AudioControl in the past where they just had the sleeves, very basic boxes. But let's open it up and take a look inside. First thing is the amplifier and a box of, well, box. Let's just call it a box right now. Let's get the amplifier out of the foam that it comes packaged in. So this is nice squishy foam to protect it. It's the whole amplifier is encapsulated in the foam. Underneath it is the instruction manual. Let's take a look at what this is. This will break down the features of the amplifier. There again, that power, high current design, 2 RCA line inputs, 2 RCA line outputs, GTO or great turn on, subsonic filter, 24 dB Link-Wix-Riley, para-bass low frequency contouring, independent 12 dB Link-Wix-Riley crossover, optional wired ARC1 remote control for subwoofer level, that's optional. LC direct high level input, stop start compliant, EV compliant up to 17 volts, which is nice because some of those VVs go up to 15 volts, so this is gonna give you plenty of range. Sleek chassis design, spike mode enabled. Opening it up to take a look inside. On the top, important safety instructions. They break down each side of the amplifier as we just saw here, and now we see the top of the amplifier. All the numbers correspond to the information you're gonna find here. They talk about the optional ACR1 volume control for it. We left this page for you to marvel in the pure white. Move to next page once you have had enough. This is what I'm talking about. Quick start guide, then how to install it and where to connect power and whatnot on both sides here. They have both high level and RCA instructions. They talk about spike mode and how to wire that up to the amplifier. And then valet mode. What is this? We're gonna demo that. We're gonna show you what this is. I'm pretty excited about that. And then on the last page, some of the information that we've already taken a look at. The one thing that is on here is size. So let's take a look at the size of the amplifier. It weighs 6 pounds. It is 10.9 inches from side to side, 6.7 inches from front to back, 2.1 inches thick. Pulling out that little box that was in there, we have a couple parts, the high level to low level plug, their guitar pick to set the gains, 2 Allen tools, a super long one here and a shorter one, and 4 screws. Let's remove this top cover here. If we look really close on the lights, we see we have a happy face and a not happy face. Remove the 2.5 millimeter Allen screws, and this is what I like right here. There are the plastic washers that snap this into place, so I'm not going to lose my screws no matter where I put this, which is fantastic because let's be honest, a lot of the times you pull these top screws out, if you don't immediately put them back, they have little legs, they walk away. Oh, it's so frustrating. There is acrylic windows or plastic clear windows in these. The LEDs are down located inside of the amplifier here. They do have little nubs on them for those tips to sit into. Now we can take a look at what is on the other side here of the amplifier. If we look really close right here, I'll kind of rock the amplifier a little bit so we can kind of see that. This is your 12 volt input. On the opposite side is your ground, then the remote turn on, and then the valet mode. There's a model number located down here. Again, a lot of this is kind of ghosted in, which is really nice. You have your high level input located here. The high level plug that we saw earlier is designed to just simply plug in, clip towards the top. Next, we have the inputs and pre-outputs. They have these cool little rubber caps on them. They are difficult to get out, which is the purpose. If you're not using them, you don't want them just falling off. It just depends on the aesthetics of what you want to go for. If you don't want them on there, don't leave them on there. You have a black and a red input, and then you have a black and a red output. So if you were to hook this up in a manner in which you needed to pass the signal through or pass it on to another one of these amplifiers, you would use both of these to do that. This is your ACR1 input. And then moving down here, we have positive, positive, negative, negative. These are internally connected. So this is just giving you more inputs, and it is an 8 gauge input. Plenty of room to get your wiring into this if you desire to, but these two positives, it's mono, so they are parallel to one another. And what I mean by that, if we grab our ohm meter here and we test the 2 leads together, we have continuity. These two are on one bus, these two are on another bus. So they're internally connected. It is just one output. So feel free to use whichever one you like. Moving on to the top of the amplifier, the screws for power are a 3 millimeter Allen, and that is true for the remote, valet, and the ground. Power and protect light, smiley face, frowny face. A drawn diagram of that high level input, LC direct, means line level direct. Your inputs, channel 1, channel 2. Your outputs, channel 1, channel 2. There is a switch denoting whether you are going to be doing high level, this, or low level, this. Trigger method, remote turn on, meaning that you're going to be connecting it to something that has that 12 volt output. GTO, or great turn on. This uses the DC offset, so this is going to just work when you connect to a high level speaker input, not an RCA. It has to be the high level input. And then last but not least, and this is definitely the last, I don't recommend using it, is audio. This will just automatically, when it sees sound coming through, it turns on. This is the most unreliable of them, but hey, in a pinch, if you absolutely need to use it, it's there. Remote or GTO, definitely the best to choose from. This is showing where your remote level control plugs in if you decide to get one. We have the low pass filter that goes from 60 to 120, subsonic filter that has off. So for all you guys who are like, I don't want it, it has off, which is all the way down, and then it goes from off to 50 hertz. Gain control, maximize light, so that when you're turning up the gain and you're setting it up to make sure you're not clipping your output, this light will come on. So we can call it a distortion detector-ish style light. Para bass, this is your EQ frequency, so you can choose between 40 and 80 hertz, and then you have a level control. So this allows you to pick the frequency that you would like to manipulate and then turn it up to add that little something of ooh yeah to the amplifier. Now taking a closer look at this, obviously these are way easier to see than these. These are almost invisible, and that is by design because this cover is designed to cover these up. Now some of the aesthetic cues of the amp obviously has this little dip right here, and it almost looks like someone took the amplifier and squeezed it on the ends here, which gives it this neat look. Kind of looks like air blowing through it. It's pretty cool. I'm digging this. I know a lot of people when this amplifier was introduced were like, ooh, that's kind of nifty. The back of the amplifier, it carries those fins around the back. As you can see, they change colors. Like all things, somehow this amplifier must come apart. Now I see these 4 screws here, and that's really about it. Let's give it a try and see if we can get this thing apart and see what it looks like inside. We'll start with these 2.5 millimeters. Now, taking apart an amplifier is not something that I do recommend you do. This is a review, and we are going to do it for that. I would not recommend you do that, and if you're gonna do it, don't post pictures. Ooh, there we go. The top just kind of pops up. All right, we're getting there. Ooh, the front comes off. Oh, that's nice. Look at that. Now, if we look closely back here, in these 2 little areas right here, there's little tiny screws. Or pins, as it turns out. Ooh, nice. Now, there is a cable that is attaching these 2 together. So let's unplug that. So here's our LEDs. Just has a 4-pin, which is nice. And there again, this is something we would have never seen before unless we took the top off. It says, unless you think you lost your sock in here, you should put the cover back on. Oh, that is fantastic. Oh, I love it. Let's move on. Let's keep going because I think my sock is inside of here. We have a bunch of little Phillips screws that we need to remove. All right, pulling off the comic relief. And we have the inside of the amplifier. Ah, here we go. Now, right away, if we look over here, we can see Spike on the circuit board. It is a black circuit board with white writing. There's a bus bar here that says AudioControl. Taking a closer look to see if we can find any more little cool things. I don't see them. What we do have is 2 air cavities here. This is the main portion of the heatsink across the back. So this makes a lot of sense. We got 2 giant power supplies, capacitors, little daughter board over here. This whole section is our gain, EQs, crossovers, and this is attached into the board and it is epoxied into place. The bus bars for the power are what we've seen in the past. They're nice and big. Plenty of room to pull that current through there. I'll take this moment to let you just kind of feast over the top of this. And now what we're gonna do is I'm going to put this thing back together and we're going to take a look at what the Valet Mode does so we can kind of wrap our heads around that because frankly, I'm kind of curious. On page 14 of the instruction manual, it talks about Valet Mode. The Valet input needs to see a ground, get connected to a toggle switch. We're not gonna use the toggle switch, we're just going to ground the Valet to show what is happening. We have an IRTA2, which is an electrical RTA, and we are playing pink noise from our phone. This is the signal we're getting. If we turn this up, according to this, our signal goes up nice and high. I want to get a closer view on this, so we will slide things around so that we can zoom in on this and this input. So pretending like this is a toggle switch, we can see right now we're getting 81.8, we'll just say 0.5, so 81 dBs of output right now. This is the signal we're looking at. Turn this guy on here and it mutes it down to 69 dB. We pull it out, it goes back up to 81. All right, so next we're gonna play some music, get this thing moving around a little bit, see what it can do. You see we're getting tons of music coming into this, and now we'll engage Valet. You see that drops it down, drastically drops it down, reduces the amount of output, and then turn it back on. Our bass comes back, it's nice and boomy, gets a little crazy, and then we'll engage it again. You can see it drop down and become less. Turn it back on. So there we go. That is how Valet Mode is designed to work. The only thing left to do is to take this over to the dyno and see what kind of numbers this thing is going to put up on the board. First up with the dyno is the certified dyno run. We're just going to do 2 ohm and 1.33 ohm. First run at 2 ohm gives us 729 watts. Let's reset for 1.33 ohm. 860 watts. That brings us to the uncertified 2 ohm run, and it just doesn't want to stop. 789. Reset for 1.33 ohm, and that squeaks us out a 968. Time for my favorite dynamic run. This first one will be 2 ohm, and out of the gate we have 904 watts resetting for 1.33, and wow, we get 1136 watts at 1.33 ohms. Now I know this amplifier is not stable to 1 ohm, but I really feel like I want to do it. I don't recommend you running at 1 ohm, but let's just see what it'll do on the dynamic. And at 1 ohm, this thing puts out 1367 watts. Now keep in mind, don't run it like this. I just wanted to see what it will do, and it's done some crazy numbers. All right, guys, there you go. This is the A800.1. This thing is impressive. I hope if you were on the fence about picking one of these up, you now go, this thing's mine. I'm ordering it right now. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching. As always, Fernando, if you please.
On to the next one, guys.
You guys have a great night as always. We will see you later next time.
Bye.
Bye.